I hit live, so we'll find out if we're here.
Hey, everybody. Sorry for the technical difficulties. It seems like today we were having a few little hiccups with our technology. So, Jay, are you there?
I'm here.
All
Welcome.
right.
All right, now we can see what's going on here. All right, we're back. Welcome to Beyond the Frame, everybody. It seems like we're all having technical difficulties nowadays, too. Boy, the first show we did, we didn't know we were live, and now we knew to expect that, and we had a crash right off the bat. So, well, we're here, people. I'm Jay Nephew. I'm your host, and with me today is my beautiful co-host, Dottie San Martin.
Well, thank you, Jay. Hi, everybody. It's so nice to have you here. If you're new to our group, Beyond the Frame, we welcome you. This is just a place that we can all gather around and share best practices and resources and tips and whatever else we can come up, humor, whatever else we
Yeah.
can do to help one another through this very troubling time. So, welcome. Make sure that you invite your friends and family and anybody else that you think could benefit from this group.
Yeah, if
So
you know small business owners, for sure have them come on board, especially people who run entertainment or restaurant facilities, because our content is bowling center specific sometimes, but for the most part, it really applies to a lot of best business practices. So a lot of people could benefit from this content, especially today's content. What is it about, Dottie?
absolutely. So keeping engaged with your customers on social media. I mean, I know I have been so much more engaged recently, during this pandemic.
I'd say we all
So
have.
yeah, it's a great subject and not just relevant today. Actually, the stuff that we're learning now and we're going to share with you is relevant no matter what time
For sure.
of year it is or what you're going through. So we're learning some things now that are going to pave the way for a brighter tomorrow for us.
Yes, absolutely. So we titled our show Keeping Customers Engaged, and I put this question on my paper to ask, what's your voice on social media during these times? And I should remove the during these times off of that because it doesn't matter that we're in this crisis now. Your social media rules shouldn't really change that much. Yes, they can be more or less targeted for certain things, but the behavior that you exhibit on social media should be kind of the same. There's a right way to do it, and then there's a less than better way to do it. So we're going to talk to you about some of the better ways to do things on social media. And when I asked about what's your voice during this time, are you generating conversations or are you holding lectures? Think about that for a second. A lot of us hold lectures on social media, don't we? We just tell people what we want them to hear. We shout at them and tell them, come do this, look at this, look at that. We don't necessarily start conversations.
You're exactly right. And Jay, now most especially, our social media is our face, it is our brand. And, we need to make sure that what we are putting in front of our customers and potential customers is the message that we want them to hear. Is it a true representation of who we are?
Right. And there's a couple of rules. We did an Ask the Expert webinar. I keep trying to look at myself on the other screen. I don't know why. We did an Ask the Expert webinar a few months, maybe a year ago, actually, where we talked about social media. And I had 5 tips for social media that were straight out of the marketing handbook, basically. These are things that you should be doing and shouldn't do with your social media. And let's go over them real quick because they're going to apply to what we're talking about today. So here's the biggest thing you can remember. Success does not happen overnight. What does that mean? Well, you're not just going to wake up tomorrow, no matter what business you have, and start out with a beautiful social media engagement. Like, you just don't do that. It takes time to create the followers. It takes time to create the messaging that you want to send and talk in your voice. I'd like to say hi right now to Suzanne and Paul who've joined us. Suzanne, I said it wrong again. And Paul who've joined us, Paul Franconi. We've got other people coming on the live feed. A lot of us watch the program afterwards. So when I say success doesn't happen overnight, I mean, don't get discouraged. If you are early on in a business, or if you've had the business for many years and you've just started your social media process, don't be frustrated that you don't have it all down right now and you don't know it off the top of your head. That's like a big thing that you can get hung up on for no reason.
Absolutely.
The other tip number 2, And Dottie has another way to say this. I like hers better. I said quality over quantity. Better to have less connections read and share and respond than more connections who are unengaged. So maybe I've got 10,000 followers and I post something and nobody comments. What good does that do? I'd rather have 100 followers where 10 of them respond when I post. Dottie, what's your way of phrasing that? I like it
No,
better.
Jay, that is a great way to look at it. But there's also something along those same lines that's really good for us to remember. It's the consistency that's the key, not the frequency.
Yes,
So if
consistency
you
over
are,
frequency.
get on a routine and try to keep the consistency. Don't go long periods of time and just, check out of your social media. You need to stay consistent, and you need to have those messages be very relevant, very meaty, very beneficial to those that are following you.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. The other thing is acknowledgement is a must. So those that are following you, when they like
Uh,
or share your post or comment on it, you can't go blind to it. You can't just be like, well, that's great. You need to share back. You need to like back. You need to thank them or make a comment back to them. Let them know that it's a two-way street and you saw that they engaged with you.
and
Um,
and
Go ahead.
Jay, on that, I want to also add that doesn't always have to be only the positive things.
This is a good
Um,
one, Dottie.
because so many times maybe they see things a little bit differently, or maybe they brought something to your attention that you weren't aware of, and it's not necessarily the most glamorous thing under the sun that they're bringing to your attention. But sometimes those comments and those interactions with your customer can be the most beneficial, because that gives you the opportunity to be very transparent and very, very authentic, and let your customer um, and to correct that problem. Perhaps it may be something that you didn't even know existed and they brought it
Right.
to your attention. So those are opportunities. And when you handle them with, transparency and being very authentic, that's what today's customer, and I kind of take a step backwards, because we have all kinds of customers. We have a very diverse group of people coming into our centers, all the way from baby boomers to alpha gens.
Yeah.
And each one of those particular demographics have things that are important to them. They have their media platform that they prefer. They have the messages that that they act upon. And one of the things that we found with the majority of our customers is that they want transparency, they want authenticity, and especially the younger ones can see right through it when you are not being authentic.
Hmm.
So I
If you
really
have an issue, you really just need to own up to it and handle it the way you would if they were standing right in front of your face.
absolutely
Maybe
right.
they didn't get the best service. Maybe their food was cold. Who knows? It's okay. We're human. So I think the way you handle the situation is just as effective as any other marketing strategy you could ever employ.
You're
But that brings
exactly
us to our next point, and that's sharing is caring, right? You can't expect your customers to be talking about you if you're not supporting their talking or sharing of appropriate content. Now, that's one thing I've noticed a ton of is today, and because of our current situation, we're all on social media all day. I've noticed that we've gotten some really good listeners and some good engagement people out there. Some of our own bowling center people that we know, they're really clever in what they're sharing and they're feeding back, and I love that. And we're going to show you some of the what I think are some really clever and nice posts that we found so far. But the last step, so we've got success doesn't happen overnight, the quality over quantity, acknowledging them, sharing is caring. And the last thing, Dottie, you said this earlier, don't disappear. Be active in publishing and commenting. What does that mean to you? It could mean that you do it once a week. It could mean that you're on there daily. It doesn't have to be daily, by the way. It just needs to be consistent. And that's what Dottie said, consistency is key.
exactly.
So that ties
Ab-
into that point. All right. Now, you also did talk about best platforms for different demographics. And let's face it, like you said, we've got 3-year-olds, 2-year-olds, all the way to 102-year-olds that come in our building. So we have every generation out there that is a customer. Now, will Facebook work for everybody? No, Facebook might not work for everybody, by the way. We're not probably talking to anybody that's under the age of 20 right now. They're never going to see this video. They're just not that person, right? So if we wanted to reach that particular group, what would we do? Well, we'd probably be on Snapchat or Instagram, or where would you
You
go?
know, Jay, it's funny because with each of the different platforms that we have, we need to tailor that message to that platform, because obviously that platform has a different type of a follower for that platform. And
Right.
now, for us to be able to see all these different platforms that are available and learn about these platforms and learn how we can leverage those platforms, that's a pretty big undertaking to make sure that you are aware of the algorithms and all the different things that you have to be aware of when you go into social media. But nowadays there's a lot of different, it's not just Facebook or Instagram. We've got Snapchat, and now we've got the up and coming TikTok, which,
Oh my
that's
gosh,
a whole
that's,
new ball game right there.
yeah.
You've got IGTV that's starting to, it's got a lot of potential out there. So all of these different platforms are valuable to your business. And if for those of you that are following the blog, in the upcoming days, you're going to find some resources on the blog about some of the social media platforms that maybe you're not quite familiar with, and how to kind of get started in that. So we're going to post some stuff on there for you. So be sure and watch your emails. If you're following it, you'll get an email that says that there's new content posted.
All right, so let's dive into the meat of today's show. And we said originally, when we were coming up with our topics, we said, well, I'm going to give you 21 ideas to post on social media. Well, 21 turns into 30 and 40 real quick. So we have a number of ideas. We're not going to share every one with you, but I will tell you this: on that blog, if you go to the blog and you see the posting, we will have a handout there for you that you can print out and take home and, reference and use to get those ideas. All right, so 21, I'm still sticking with that number because it just sounds good. 21 ideas to keep your customers engaged on social media. The first one is kind of cool. Dottie, tell us what the first one is, because you like this one a lot. I like it too.
I do. Actually, and we all know that video is so popular these days on social media. And, don't let that scare you, because that doesn't mean that you have to go out and spend tons of money on equipment and all that kind of stuff. The coolest videos are shot from cell phones. So one of the things that you can do is, it's all about building stories and creating a story. So what better story to tell than, what is it? What are some of these things that go on in a bowling center that your customers never know about? Take them
They may
behind
never
the.
get to see, right? Like, most customers
Absolutely.
can't go down back and look at the machines. We take that for
Absolutely.
granted because we've been doing it our whole life. 80,
Yes.
90% of your customers have never seen a pin setter up close.
Absolutely. So, doing some of those things that enables your customer to really get in and understand how bowling works, that's really exciting. And like you said, Jay, it used to be that we could take customers behind the lanes, but now with safety restrictions and so on and so forth, many of our customers don't have that opportunity anymore. So
Mm-mm.
this is the perfect opportunity. The videos can be shot from your cell phone. Give that responsibility to your mechanic that you've got doing preventive maintenance. They'll love it. And consider what platforms you want to have those available on. This is one of those things that you may want to put these on YouTube or
I'm going to
wherever.
tell you right now, if you don't have a YouTube channel for your bowling center today, right now, you're going to write on this piece of paper that you have here near you, or type in your phone as a memo, create YouTube channel for the bowling center. You need to do this because you're going to have future video content. You need to start that process now. You might have one person who cares about it today. I promise you, in the next short period of time, you're gonna have a lot more people that care about it. So create a YouTube channel for your business now. Okay, there's my rant, I'm done.
Okay. Well, Jay, the other thing is, there's so many things in a bowling center that a customer just doesn't understand. Things like running tapes and
Oh, yeah, that's true
maintaining your
too.
shot and running the oil machine. I can't tell you how many people used to come in the center and ask what kind of wax we use on the lanes. I mean, it's things like that. It's that opportunity that we have right now to really bring our customers into our business and show them the ins and outs. We all know, being in the
Yeah,
business, that it's a very it's a very sophisticated business to be in, but the outsider, to be able to allow them in and get a sneak peek of what it really means to be in a bowling center, that's exciting. That's a story that your customer wants to hear.
absolutely. That's the whole reason the How It's Made TV show's on, because
Of
people are
course.
like, well, I wonder how this works and how this is done. This could be the same kind of thing with your bowl. You put you in your head mechanical back and start talking about what happens when you call for a ball return. You can simulate that. What happens when I have to reset pins? Now you're also educating your customers that, oh, I see, they have to, it's not really simple for them to correct this or to fix that. I'll be a little
That's
more
right.
patient in the future, you know? So it's educational, but its entertainment value is there also. So use that to your advantage, whether it's going live and showing the machines, or going live and showing how the tapes are run or the oil machine. You can pick any topic you want, but do a little live video on that particular subject. So that's one genre.
And Jay, the other thing that comes to mind as you're talking about that is, this isn't just something that you can do for the adults. We want to keep young people in our sport. And this is a great opportunity for you to, and it doesn't, if you don't have someone that wants to be live, you can even do some recordings.
Yeah,
But to incorporate some educational points into what's going on, all these kids are home, they're being homeschooled, they're already in that frame of mind.
they
But
are.
to do some small, talk about how a pin, the statistics of a pin, or talk about the specs of a lane. There's a number of things that you can do that incorporates education into it. And
And more importantly, STEM education, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. It's all in a bowling center. It's right at your fingertips. You could do a whole class on that.
you
Sorry,
know
Dottie, I had
speaking
to mention that.
speaking of a whole class, Jay, I'd like to give kind of to know that BPAA has a whole curriculum on bowling that is absolutely fantastic. So if you are wanting to do some educational things, certainly look into that curriculum. It is just very well put together, and it would be a great thing to work into your homeschooling that's going on right now.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. All right, so we've talked about going live and doing some videos from the center. Let's talk, I want to show some things now that we've kind of discovered, but this is going to take me a second because I have to get my computer ready to share my screen. Let me do this real quick. When we came up with the Beyond the Frame concept, I can speak. We also I was asked to be on the Rabs Country Lanes show early on in his career. Rabs Country Lanes, for those of you who don't know, it's Frank Wilkinson's bowling center, and they're out of Long Island area. Uh, and he does an hour-long show every day live from the bowl. And so the cool thing about that is, let me share my screen. He has now generated this whole other following online. So this is his post that they do live from Rabs, 2 p.m. Eastern every day. And they bring PBA, PWBA stars on there. They bring local celebrities. He even had his brother on there, which is who is an Emmy award-winning actor, I believe. Oh wait, did I not share the screen? Oh, I said I
You
was
did
going to share it.
not.
I never shared it. I'm pointing at it the whole time
There
that
we
it was up.
go.
There we
Technology.
go. Technology, other person operating the technology. Yeah, so Rabs
We
does a good job with that. They're very interactive, and as you can see, he's had a lot of guests come on there. I don't know why that changed, but here's another one. Valley Bowling Center in, I want to say, what, central New York. It's the New York-Pennsylvania border. Greg Joseph and his staff over there, great job with their curbside. They call it railside pickup, right? And look at that beautiful pizza and
clever.
wings. I really want some. It's really good. And then next, I want to show you. Maybe I can't. I'll come back to this in a little bit. We'll stop. We'll share some more content shortly. But let's move on to another idea. for a social media post. So when you go to the blog and you download, you're going to get them all. We're not going to talk about all 20 or 30 that are on this list today, but some of the fun ones. You know, you got kids, you got adults at home, you're playing games. Here's an idea. Even the youngest can do the word searches, right? I've included a bowling word search for you. It's huge. It's a big circle and it's got like 5 words in it, all bowling terms and, you know, brands and industry things and old professional bowlers, you know, the Hall of Famer kind of people. So that's there for free on the blog also. What I would do if it was me, because I like to play games and have like a game show, I would print one of these out for every person in my house. And after dinner, I would get them at the table and I would hand them out face down and I would start a clock and I would say, go. And whoever gets all the words first wins. So it could be a fun little contest.
Well, you know, Jay, and you could also do something very similar to that on your social media.
You could have a virtual
contest. Who can get this back to me first with all the answers? You know, and that's what you're wanting. You're looking for ways to engage people, not to, as going back to what you said, you don't want to lecture your customers. You want to draw them in. You want to tell them a story. You want them to be a part of that story.
Yes, you want them to be a part of it.
This is a good way to do that.
Another thing we've done, I've created a crossword puzzle. So this is not necessarily for the little ones because it's some of my clues are a little bit obscure, maybe, I guess. It's a little bit harder than it looks, but there is another free crossword puzzle on the blog too. So that's something you could engage the adults with, or the older kids at least. They might have a chance at, you know, solving most of the words on there. So those are two kind of game things that you can do. What about, I like this next one, bowling trick shots. We all have, I mean, it's not rocket science. We've been in a bowling center our whole lives. We've done trick shots after hours. We have them on tape or video tape. That's how old I am. I had them on, got it on tape. Let me get my VHS out. No, but we've done trick shots before. And if you own that center, I guarantee you've done trick shots and you got them on video. Why not post one of those on your social media site and, you know, ask people questions about it, like, what do you think the hardest trick shot is, or something like that. Have fun with that.
And you know, this would be a good time also because not just do you have a library of those, but your customers probably have a library of those as well. So, you know, reach out to them and find out what their favorite trick shot is. Maybe it's something they did, or maybe it's something that they've seen someplace else. So engage them as well, and, you know, see if you can't get some. Those are always so fun to watch.
They are. They're fun to watch and fun to do, actually, except when the pin flies somewhere you don't want it to fly, like a mask. Well, but I'm not saying that's ever happened to me. I just heard
absolutely.
And
Jay, ahead, you know, talking about getting your customers involved, one thing that I think is kind of fun is reach out to your customers and have a contest on coming up with a signature, like a signature burger for your center or a signature pizza for your center. I was sharing with somebody the other day, I worked with a client in Japan and they were doing this for burgers. And it was a one-off thing. They were going to do, technology.
I know, right? I just had to turn mine off too.
Sorry about that, guys. But we are real. It's live, so anything goes. Anyway, this particular center reached out to the customers and they were asking to help them create a unique burger for their center. And the results were really phenomenal. So many people wanted to have input on that and they had so many ideas. It turned out to be this whole program that runs all 12 months, and they have a Burger of the Month club. All the burgers are you know, the ideas are given by the customer. The customer gets to name it, so they take kind of pride that I have a burger this month named after me. And then they've even started a program, this Burger of the Month Club, where the goal is to try each burger throughout the year, and at the end there's an incentive for those that manage to eat every burger that's created. So it's something that started out simple, but it was fun. The customers enjoyed it. They got to be a part of that journey and a part of that story. and it
And
turned out
some
to
of
be
them were even rewarded with their own burger, right? This is the perfect
absolutely.
storm of social media, social channels, right? They had an idea that was clever and fun. They engaged their audience engaged back with them, and they ran with it. So kudos to them. Why can't you do that? Why can't you make a video at home? Or maybe you run to the center because you got to go over there and check on some things anyway, right? Maybe you say, I'm going to show you how we make our perfect loaded nachos here at XYZ Bowl today. And you make something live, but then you tell them, if you were making nachos here, what would your nachos look like? And ask them to recreate it. That could easily be, you know, a week's worth of social media fun right there. You
And
know,
you
those
know,
make it
Jay,
at home challenges where they show the Pinterest and then they show the fail. That would be the fun part. Here's what my nachos turned out like.
you know, people like to be included. They like to do things like this. So when you can include them along in your journey and get input, you know, and we even say this about employees. When you can get input from your employees, they support things a lot better than if, you know, if you don't have that input. If they feel like they're
Right.
a part of what you're delivering, they have that desire to be more proactive in what they're doing. So, um, great point.
I want to go. I'm going to cut over here and share my screen. This time I'm really going to share it, I promise. Um, share. All right. So here's another post that I love that Shannon O'Keefe put up. She got all the PWBA stars to each do a little word. It says, stay home uh, for what? For the people. Stay home for the people you love. Be kind, wash your hands, let's flatten the curve. It was a beautiful little public service announcement from all the ladies of the PWBA tour. But it's a way that, like, look at, they're all together, they're all sharing. That's gorgeous right there. That's beautiful. Um,
Absolutely is.
Whether you're in the industry or not, that's just a really nice little gesture. And there's
And you know,
Rabs
Jay,
again.
it shows really that during this terrible time that everybody's going through, that we are all in this together. And I think that message itself that these ladies put out, it really, it just gives you that warm fuzzy to know
Yeah, it
that,
really
you know, that
does, for sure.
they took the time to do that. And that
Mhm.
message is really important to me.
Here's another one I love, Hilltop Lanes in Waxahachie. You know, Scott Dodson is doing a remodel now that he's closed. He's ripped some stuff out and he's using this time carefully. And a bunch of friends came over and helped him, right? Well, we talked about making a meme. Well, they did a meme. He said, I miss my Dos Equis, right? This is Caleb. So, you know, they were like honoring Caleb. And he even said, hey, post this on your social media, Hilltop. And they did. So that's back to listening to what your customers want, right? And then, oh, well, here's another one, Brookmont. I love this. You hear me, bro? Bowling will be back. Hashtag bowling strong. Hashtag support bowling, right? That's what we always tell people to put up there. So those are some good ideas for posts as well. All right, well, we did I might as well do this one while we're here because I'm gonna have to share my screen and put it up again. I love this when I see these. Have you ever seen those pictures where, and those of you that are watching along, feel free to comment, please. We'd love to answer any of your questions that you have. But you ever see those pictures where they get super close on something and they say, what is it? Well, you could do that with the bowling center items or even do it from home. It could be fun. And I did one just to give you an idea as to what I was saying. And there, I'll share my screen. Let me know when you see it. Oh, wait, I gotta hit the share button. See, I'm still learning these things. Do you see it, Dottie?
I do.
Do you know what it is? Does anybody watching the stream know what that is?
Hmm.
Well, their stream is a little bit behind, so I'm just going to give it a few seconds to catch up. Here we go. It's showing, so we'll see.
I feel like I should know this.
You
It looks
should.
like there's grips on the end of it, like you need to
Yep.
pick something up with it. Am I hot or cold?
You're hot.
Okay. Well, thank you. Uh,
You are hot, hot, hot.
tongs?
It's not tongs. I'll show you what it is. Let me stop my share here right now. It's something so stupid that I had to do it. It's a chip clip. Oh, I have to do it in front of me. It's a chip clip, but I just
A
zoomed
chip
in on
clip.
the,
Okay.
yes, a
Now
chip
I
clip.
see it.
So you could
Now it
take
makes
some
sense.
random object. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Oh my God, I'm freaking out watching the display over there because it's like picture and picture and picture. It was kind of fun. So that's one thing that you could do is make a, what is this image? And then I love this other one too, Dottie, that we thought of. On this day in history, you know, every day something's happened in the past that you can tie to bring up a conversation, or if you're in the middle of season and you're in the middle of business, you can even tie that thing that happened in history back to an event or a product or a special that you're going to do
Absolutely.
at the bowl. We've done that a lot with some of our customers, but you're going to take it a step further. Tell them about what you're going to do for them.
And you know, Jay, the other thing that you can do, there's so many ways that you can tie things back to your center, but there's also, you know, the uh, on on this day, like this is National Margarita Day or National Hot Dog Day, or maybe this is, you know, sometimes it's by the day, sometimes it's National Nurses Week, sometimes it's
Or
by the month,
the
Heart Month,
microwave was
or,
invented today. I don't know. There's,
or
you never know.
whatever. But those are things that a lot of times you can tie those back. And on your social media, of course, now we can't tie them back and get them in our center that way since our centers are closed. But certainly, it's something that, you know, it's kind of cool to know these unique and unusual um, quote holidays. But you know, going forward, when we get back open and things are rocking and rolling again, you can even tie those types of events. For example, National Hot Dog Day, you could do something in your snack bar where you're, you know, bringing people in to enjoy National Hot Dog Day. Those are kind of fun too, to be able to post those on your social media.
What's the other one that you like?
Oh, there's a whole bunch of them that I like.
Quote of the
Uh,
day, inspirational quote.
Absolutely. You know, with all of this that's going on, it's so easy for us to just be overwhelmed with the negative things that are going on in midstream media, and post an uplifting quote, or you know, a motivational quote. And if you go to our blog, tomorrow, you'll find a number of resources where you can go and find some really great quotes, and some links for those unique holidays. We've got all of that that we're going to provide for you so that you don't have to go around searching for those things. But
Yes,
you
that's
know,
the
do
key.
a quick post of a quote, and if you are creative and like the creative end of it, you know, put a nice, pleasant photo behind it and create, you know, a social media post that way.
Yeah.
Um, and Jay, you know, I'm going to take a detour here because
Okay.
I know you and I are both, you know, with loving to design and so on and so forth. We really like to see what other people are doing, and it is absolutely amazing. We have talked on numerous occasions about how it's so important to think outside the box right now and to keep your center on track to be as successful as possible when you open back up. But the creativity that I'm seeing in social media today is just phenomenal. And so, you know, pretty much anything goes right now. But, you know, look at what you are seeing. Just as Jay, you've shown some of these other very creative things that our centers are doing. Learn from those and get inspiration from those,
I'm going to
because,
share my screen now because I want you to
yeah,
talk about this right here. Um, Main event. Well, you can't go there to have your birthday party right now, but this is what you're seeing. Join the virtual birthday sing along. Dottie, tell us what they're doing.
so Jay, you know, this is something that, and I'm going to say this because I have a birthday coming up, and I know how I feel. You know, wow, gosh, this is going to be one of those birthdays that's going to go down in history for more than one reason. But you
Yeah.
know, that I don't get to spend it with my family like I always do. And so now Main Event has done a phenomenal job being able to have a presence so that they can make that birthday person feel special. And they're doing it through social media.
Hmm.
Jay, I can't see your screen. I
Oh,
do see
it's,
that you have a nice organized desktop, so, but I don't see the
oh,
Main Event. So
you're not seeing the main event. Okay, well, let me click over to the other page and see.
but
Oh,
while you're bringing that up,
we
Jay,
are not showing the proper page. That's odd, even though it says it's showing it. I will fix that. Thank you, Dottie, for pointing that out.
I want to mention also, not only is Main Event being extremely clever by taking the birthday party into the homes. I think it's fantastic because there are a lot of children right now that are home being doing the online schooling, and they their birthday is not going to be as special because they're not getting to share it with their classmates. And I'll take a little detour here and share with you my oldest grandson had a birthday last week, and he was a little bit bummed that he wasn't going to get to be at school with his friends. And their neighborhood, there's an app out called Next Door, I believe it is,
Yep.
and one of the neighbors posted to all the neighborhood that this little boy was having his birthday. Could they help make it special? And they did a drive-by parade, and it was so phenomenal. They had people dropping gifts off at the sidewalk. It was just, they made him feel so, so special. So, that's the creativity, and those are the moments that you really remember. Hopefully, there will be a lot of other children that get to make that the parents are helping make that birthday party special. But Main Event has really done a nice job with that, and kudos to them.
All right, let's talk about this one here. I'm going to share this one. So, Chipotle. It says Chipotle tackles social distancing with virtual hangouts on Zoom. Well, that's what we're doing here. We're having a Zoom hangout with you guys. But imagine, let's have a Zoom hangout while we do bowling from home. I don't know. Maybe you take the bowl at home challenge, which we haven't discussed yet, but and you put that call out there and say, let's bowl together. Maybe one of you can be at the center and throw the ball down the lane for real to tease everybody at home who's bowling on their home kits. there's so many ways you could take this.
Absolutely, and this is just one of the hangouts that I've seen recently. And as we go forward, I think we'll see a lot of these stick around because there's so much value in this, and it's so fun to be able to do that in the comfort of your own home. I mean, we even have churches these days that are bringing the entire congregation together via technology. So I think that
Right.
this technology is so extremely cool. Technology is something that I'm just absolutely, I love technology and being able to do things through technology. So, yeah, I think these hangouts are just, I hope they stick around.
Well, we know that our life is forever going to be different, just like it was after 9/11, right? We can't remember what it was like before. We're probably going to be changed from this particular instance, and it's going to technology is going to play a big part of our lives moving forward. So those of you that are embracing it and that are taking it and using it for the catalyst that it can be to get jumpstart, your engagement with your customers, kudos to you guys because you're already ahead of the curve, so to speak, right? Okay, Dottie, let's see. What other ones do we have on here that we want to talk about?
Do you happen to have Hasbro there, Jay?
Oh,
That was
Hasbro. Yes, I do. I do. Let me
okay.
share
Okay.
Hasbro with
I
you.
thought I thought we had talked about that one earlier, the two of us, and I had hoped that
We
you had
did, and I
bookmarked it.
didn't share it with you, but now we're sharing it. So
And
Hasbro, go ahead.
absolutely, they've done such a great job. They are. If you can scroll down just a little bit, Jay, you can kind of show that they've got based on different um, like Hungry Hippo, for example. That's really fun. They've given you different ways that you can engage the family during Hungry Hippo. But I don't know about you. I've never tried playing Hungry Hippos with my feet, but that's something that they pose. So maybe that's something I need to try. I think there's something to be said about trying to. I'm barely coordinated enough to do it with my hands, but I guess I could try my feet and probably wouldn't be much worse at it.
Right? I love how they rules of the house. This is for the Nerf challenge. You know, always wear eye protection. Don't blast above the neck. Don't eat the Nerf darts. You know, but it's fun. They're saying hashtag bring home the fun. That's what they're using as their little call out slogan. And you have the opportunity to have people bring home the fun too from your bowling center, remembering the kinds of fun they used to have when they were there, and rekindling that. Maybe you even do a throwback image, throwback photos. Do you have any old photos of the bowl from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s? Last Tuesday? I don't know. Anything. It can be from any time, but you know, those older photos bring back some discussions, especially when there's like the telescores. Remember those with the you burn your hand trying to keep the score? I mean, maybe
Yep.
I'm that old. I don't think anybody remembers those. They were terrible, but I made good money from keeping score when I was like 8 years old, learning math and kissing old ladies for
And you
dollars.
know, Jay, that comes to mind. You could even put, some of the grease pencil and some of those things as that item that you zoom in on.
Oh yeah.
You could even give them
Nobody's
the
gonna
full
know what
shot,
that
and
is.
some people wouldn't know what that's. Even a
Yeah, they're
score
like,
sheet,
I don't
for
know what
that
it is.
matter.
Yeah, one of those
Just a plain
plastic
old
score
score
sheets.
sheet.
Right. So some of
So
us know some
yeah,
of the older stuff. Yeah, that would be a fun little series of if you got old bowling stuff, like super old, like a wooden ball with two holes in it. You know, they used to just have those
yeah.
two holes. Um, you've got on the blog, we've already talked about the links for this day in history that will show up. They're not there right this today, but they'll be there tomorrow. And the inspirational quote links. But we also want you to think about putting on your website and your social media or social channels. How about free resources and links for parents or customers in your region? Is there something special that they could take advantage of, whether it be a food pantry that's open, or maybe you've got a Meals on Wheels that needs drivers and volunteers to cook and buy food and make things and deliver it? You can be that resource and help push that info out to the audience. We know our bowling community is very generous. We know they give over and over again to many causes. This is a time they can give back to their own community, and you can help facilitate that by putting some of those resources up on your site too. So think
And
about that.
we've also seen that the parking lot, to have a blood drive, there's such a shortage of blood right now, and to be able to tap into the resources that you have to be able to have a place that they can have a blood drive.
Mhm.
Those things are very, um, coming up with a place to do it. Sometimes it seems like not a really big task to have to come up with a place, but when you have some place and you're willing to offer that up, and it just shows that you're supporting what's going on. And
Yeah.
um,
And that goodwill will get you many kudos in the community down the road. So anytime you can support your own community, I believe it's a great thing. Let's do a couple more. I talked about the Bowl at Home challenge. We didn't show it, so I'm not going to show you my video. If you want to watch the Bowl at Home challenge, just search Bowl at Home on Facebook, and you'll see my face there throwing. We asked everybody because they were going stir crazy after 2 days of not being able to
mhm.
bowl. It was like nothing. I'm used to not bowling for 2 weeks because of travel and stuff. So for me, I was like, oh, it's only been 2 days. But we said, if you can't get to the bowling center to bowl, why don't you bowl at home? Show us what you're doing to keep yourself sharp. And so I had taken Mountain Dew Zero bottles. I know it's a shocker that I'm drinking that. And I had put like this much water in the bottom so that they wobble like a bowling pin, and they're weighted just enough to stand there long enough. And then we took a toilet paper roll, a brand new one, and of course we had to put tape around the outside because it was unrolling on me, and we can't waste any resources. And we would bowl at the pins with the toilet paper roll, and it was hysterical because it's impossible to roll a toilet paper roll straight. It just doesn't go. Let's just face it, it doesn't work. So you can see some of that. So you might come up with your own thing for ball and pins. Maybe you got real pins. Maybe you've got other things that you could use as a pin and as a ball. Have fun with this. Show people, if you can't come to me to bowl, do this at home, or show me what you're doing at home. Just include the hashtag bowl at home. put that on there so we can share it on our social media too. Remember, we want to share what you're doing. So keep that in mind.
So
Dottie,
Jay,
one more.
as you're talking about, bowling at home, and it's not near the same as being at the bowling center, but at least you're able to get your fix. You've been
Yeah.
now for a little while, you've been without bowling. So, I think we need to kind of find out from our viewers, what are you doing to stay in shape? So
Yeah.
that
What
when
are
you
you
do
doing?
go back to bowling, the next morning you're not having to have somebody roll you out of bed because you're stiff because you haven't. Are we keeping in shape? Are we keeping those muscles, ready
Are
to
you
go
putting
when
your
we
hand
open
in a
back up?
bowling ball? You should at least pick up a ball every day and put your hand in it and like do a couple of fake shots off your hand. I mean, I can't reach them, but I have a few in the background that you can't see. I was going to bring one up here, but I'm afraid that my thumb is shrunk so much it won't fit anymore. So, but yeah, those are kinds of things that you can have fun with too. All right, let's do one more thing, Dottie. I think we just want to chat about are you going to put your user-generated content strategy guide up? You want to talk about that real quick?
Absolutely, Jay. One of the things that, as we are relying on social media so much right now, one of the things that is so valuable that can come out of this is that user generated content, that video that your customer is uploading. And that user generated content, it goes back to what we talked about a little bit earlier about that authenticity. And that's what people are looking for. And so, there's such value in that. So if you aren't very familiar about how to leverage user generated content, I do have a resource that I am going to share on the blog that talks a little bit about the value and how you can get that user generated content and leverage it to help you at the center. So thank you,
Good.
Jay. I had
Well,
forgotten about that.
that'll be a good complement to the other resources that we're putting there, as I'm saying. So we're going to give you the 21 plus, yeah, 21 quote 21 social media post ideas, right? We're going to give you those, and we're going to give you a couple other handouts that we talked about. One being free links and resources for this day in history and inspirational quotes. So you don't have to go hunt those down. We've got some
Yeah,
sources that'll have you do that.
we'll equip you with everything you need.
We're going to also, Dottie's going to include on the blog, she's going to talk about our 5 social media tips. She's going to include them there so you can remember to reference them and put that as part of the way you handle your social media. I
Jay,
can tell you want to say
yes,
something.
yes, I do, because I think I was getting ready to just forget about this, but we need to also, if you are not, the Best Extras blog that Jay and I've referred to throughout this podcast or this live segment is a blog, a Cubica AMF blog that was originally designed for our Best Ex customers, but we have opened that up now, and since it is a private blog, you would need to have a personal invitation in order to be able to access it.
But
so
not
the
now.
blog, yeah, the information is up on your screen. If you
Here's
don't
your
have
invite.
access, send us an email with your name, center name, and email address, and we will get that invitation out to you. When you accept that invitation, if you will make sure that you hit the follow button from the home screen, that will send you an email when new content is posted.
Perfect. So you've got it up there. You just need to send an email to bestextras at cubicaamf.com with your name, your center name, and your email address. Just 3 simple pieces of information. You do that, you're in the blog. Normally that's reserved for people who have our Best Ex product, but it doesn't matter to us. We're here to support anybody and everybody. If you are a business out there, you can benefit from some of these points. You're gonna have seen some of these things, right? Nothing is always brand new. Well, rarely is something brand new, but our goal for this blog, for this video show series, shall we say, is to bring you as much information on the topic as we can, knowing that some of it's going to be really valuable and some is going to be, got it, that's a good reminder. So that's what we've done today. And you're going to get the 21 things that you can post and check them off as you do them. I mean, add to it. What I'd love you to do is drop us a line. Hi, Beth and Mike and Natasha and Jonathan and Bill, thanks for joining us and watching. Drop us a line. Let me know what you guys are doing differently. If you've got some other ideas beyond the master list, I want you to share them with us. And you can do that by tagging me in your social media post. That's fine. Tag Beyond the Frame in your social media post, or just shoot us a little quick email. It doesn't matter. However you want to do it, whatever's easiest for you. So we're going to leave you. Yeah.
Also, if they have things that they would like to see us talk about on this show,
I was going to ask you.
Same thing, because this is a show for you. We are here to provide that resource to help you with whatever challenge you happen to be facing at the moment, or to provide best practices or other resources that are available. You know, as we have said all along, we are in this together. And we're going to get through this together.
We will get through it
and
together.
We're going to come out on the other side, and we are going to, bowling has always been a strong community, and this is only going to make us stronger. So, you know, anything that we can do to support you, to help you, to assist you, to keep you sane, if it's as simple as, you know, sharing pictures that make you smile, you know, we're here, whatever you need.
If you can make it easier for yourself now to get in the knack of doing things in a certain way and listening to some of the experts in our industries and outside of our industries, professional marketing people, professional copywriters, whatever it may be, take their cues and run with them. Make them your own, but use their knowledge to get your business ahead of the game. So life will be easier for you down the road, and you'll be able to bounce back. I don't want to say quicker or faster, but you're going to be stronger when you bounce back, right? Because you've improved yourself throughout this time. You've learned some things. You've learned maybe what didn't work when you tried it. You've learned some things that were really amazing and created some engagement that you didn't think you had. And then you can expand on that and take it to another level. So we've got those tips for you and the list. And Dottie, I'll let you have the last word.
No, Jay, I was just going to add to that, you know, we always try to find a silver lining. And if nothing else, you know, this has forced us to take a look at how we're doing things. It's giving us that opportunity to take a look at how we're doing things and how we're running our business. And is there an opportunity for us to streamline things? And if so, what can that be? And how can we cross-purpose employees and stuff like that? So, you know, if we are able to run a tighter ship because of what we're going through, then that's something that's going to help us be stronger.
For sure.
And as we said, we are going to get through this. Bowling has been around for a long time, and we are strong, stubborn, loyal people, and we're going to get
You're
through
describing
this.
Us both.
I absolutely know. So, you know, and we're going to do it together because that's what we do in the bowling world. So I appreciate, you know, having the opportunity to be with you today. It really is. It's my pleasure. And we appreciate you viewing, tuning in and joining us for the afternoon.
All right. And I thank you, Dottie, for being here. I also thank everybody for joining in and watching us live. And those of you that are going to watch us later on, thank you for watching. You can still leave your comments because we'll still watch them. Join us again on Thursday for another Beyond the Frame. Thursday, we're going to be talking about
community involvement.
Community involvement, yes. So this is going to be another topic to piggyback on top of this social media. They all kind of fit together. We also have another webinar tomorrow. The interior group of Cubic AMF, we put together a webinar for tomorrow afternoon, and I encourage you to look at that and sign up for that. Once again, you can watch that live, or obviously if you sign up for the webinar, you'll get the recording later, but they'll always be available on our portal. So until Thursday, Dottie and I will see you then. You keep doing your thing, doing it as best you can, and remember to always stay in the right frame of mind, and we'll see you on Thursday on our next Beyond the Frame. Thank you. Have a great afternoon, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.